The UK Independence Party has unveiled its election manifesto today. For the first time ever, the party is lining up candidates in all 40 Welsh constituencies. And this afternoon, the focus settled on two key issues: the economy and immigration.
The party says it would end mass uncontrolled immigration with a five-year freeze on people settling in the UK permanently. But it's an idea that's caused controversy in Wales, as our political editor Nick Speed has been finding out.
On something of a roll after winning their first Euro MP in Wales last year, UKIP is fighting every Welsh seat on an anti-immigration platform.
We cannot control our borders if we stay in the European Union.
I wanted to know why the party feels a 5-year freeze on new immigrants is needed here. Can you explain why your policy on immigration is relevant in Wales? You yourself said that there were some advantages. You gave the example of a Polish plumber.
If you look at the overall figure in the country, and it is mostly into the southeast of England and all that.
But we're in Wales today.
I know, but if you just let me answer that, why we have the policy we have nationally. It is 5,000 people every week.
The political debate, though, is around just how tight immigration controls should be. The NHS in Wales has traditionally relied on overseas recruitment. And so Labour's health minister in Cardiff Bay supports her party's points-based system with English tests for new arrivals.
But I think it's important to recognise you've got to have a balance. And of course in the European Union terms, we've got a lot of dentists coming in from the European Union. They have free access here and others. But the important thing is to get staffing right here and make sure that we train the correct numbers for the future.
Foreign labour essential too to our tourist industry. As the Llandudno Hotel today, this shadow minister explained how the Conservatives would go about setting a national limit on immigrants.
And we want to introduce that cap after we've talked to industry, to business, to see what their needs are. We'll also talk to local government to see what the pressure are on local services. And when we've had that discussion, we'll come up with a cap on non-EU migration.
No one wants to shut the door to foreign investment either. Surveying the site of the former Burberry factory, Plaid Cymru, the only party not to mention immigration in its manifesto.
What we have to do, however, is to make sure that very often, obviously, people coming in from other countries are filling jobs where there is a particular lack of skills in certain areas. That is something that has happened over generations and will continue. What we don't really want is to see parties using the language of prejudice and fear.
It's argued some parts of the countryside are crying out for overseas labour. National quotas dismissed by the Liberal Democrats, who say agriculture highlights the advantages of a region-by-region approach.
The farming that happens in this particular area isn't the kind of farming that depends on high levels of immigrant labour, but there are parts of the country that grow fruit and vegetables, for instance, where it can be really difficult to get local people who want to work harvesting those crops, and they're very reliant on immigrant labour, and that's exactly the kind of scheme we want to see work.
There's one other group that UKIP wants to repatriate. After previously calling for the Welsh Assembly to be abolished, the party now says it's Assembly members who should go, with Welsh MPs brought back for a week each month to sit there instead. Nick Speed, Wales Tonight in Cardiff Bay.